I thought, oh,
we do adult shows.
What kind of filth is Twitch trying to feed us?
Shows for adults. Shows made for.
My mom asks,
viewing.
"What do you do for a living?" I'm in the adult entertainment business.
We make adult videos. Videos.
We make adult content for mature.
That's who the videos are pointed at.
Ladies.
Ladies. 2%. 2%.
2%, baby. I'm at 3. Okay. Crushing it.
Whoa.
I'm crushing that.
Whoa. I'm only at 3% in Australia when it comes to ladies. I don't know
wow.
what it is about.
Oh, the Aussies.
Yeah, I don't know.
You bring the thunder from down under.
We're live.
We're live now. Okay, so I guess it's a good time to start the show. Hello, welcome to Awesome Hardware, episode 197, Side A.
Hi, everyone.
We streamed this show in its entirety to twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We also stream to our respective YouTube channels. This week, the first half is on my YouTube channel, Bitwit. And in about half an hour or so, we'll switch over to Paul's channel, youtube.com/paulshardware. You can also find the link to that in my video description. It's a fun new show. It's casual. We keep it casual. We keep it fun, lighthearted. We occasionally have a couple drinks on stream. Cheers to all of you for joining. And we also have merchandise stores. If you'd like to purchase anything from our stores, we do appreciate it. My store is bitwit.tech. You have the thumbscrew option. No, that's your store. You have the screw with confidence.
Hey, we're both
I saw. Oh yeah, we both are. We're both matching.
Let's talk about your store.
We have the screw with confidence shirts. They're still doing very well. It's a classic, tried and true shirt. A lot of people like it. I've been seeing some tweets from people saying, "Hey, this is a good shirt." I put it on my chest and it fit. There's also other things there that you should check out. Paul's store is paulshardware.net. He has his captive thumbscrew shirt. I wore that the other day, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I thought I had a large. I thought John shipped me a large, but it was actually a medium, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to wear this today.
No, he shipped me the shirts,
right.
And I gave you the medium.
Oh, you gave me the medium. Okay.
But there's no large size to this for me.
Oh, okay.
I sent John an email. I actually sent John an email today, though.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to do a monthly call with him, which I think will be a better solution, because I'm really bad at following up on emails.
I do that, too.
Every time I don't... John in particular. Like, there's lots of people whose emails I don't answer.
Yeah.
John in particular, I feel bad about. So.
Well, because he's invested in you. You know, he cares and he's a good guy. Yeah. So on that note, you should buy something from each of our stores. We'll yell Johnson at you at the end of the show.
We'll be happy.
And that's pretty much the introduction. Oh, we occasionally use adult language. Like I said, this is an adult show. So if you have little ones around or sensitive hearing, please be warned. We also have more beer. Look at these beautiful bottles of Samuel Smith's. Oh, that won't be a problem.
Pardon me, and you got to make your choice here.
Oh, yeah, I have a choice.
I went on a Sprouts run earlier,
existential.
And I got like hipster beer from Sprouts.
That is very hipster. Look at those
Sprouts
bottles.
hipster beer. Samuel Smith's organic chocolate stout, because organic is always better.
So it's dirt beer.
We also have the Samuel Smith pure brewed organic lager beer. Both 5%, so take your pick. I'm down for either.
I feel like since I'm driving later tonight, I'll go with the slightly lighter beer.
They're both 5%. I just said.
They're both 5%.
Yes, equal.
Okay.
Equal alcohol content in either.
I'll go for a lager. I had a stout not too long ago, so I will allow you the stout. This looks very tasty. Samuel Smith's is a small independent UK brewery. Oh, it's from the UK. So it's they're UK hipsters.
Yeah, that's even more.
The British hipsters.
Just using my Paul's Hardware bottle opener here to open the beer. All right.
Cool. All right.
We're off to a great start, Kyle. I have confidence.
I feel great.
In today's show.
Absolutely great.
Which is weird. Like 10 or 20 minutes ago, I was in a panic state.
Yep.
Thinking we weren't going to be able to do things on time.
Well, this should ease your nerves, Paul.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Can almost pour the entire thing because this is a 20-ounce Paul's Hardware glass. I'm going hard on the merch today for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Merch every day, bro. Cheers. Ooh. Those hipsters know how to brew beer.
That's very...
Not too shabby now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. So I guess we could just dive right in to today's news.
That's a good idea.
There's quite a bit to talk about here. Starting with Intel. No, it's not about 10 nanometer. No, it's not about firing back at Ryzen mainstream. But it is about firing back at Epic Rome.
Oh.
To be precise. This is about their new Xeon scalable CPUs that they just announced to have up to 56 cores.
Okay.
This article is from Hexus. Thanks, Hexus. And the code name for this family of CPUs is Cooper Lake.
Cooper Lake.
Cooper Lake. Still another lake.
Like Bradley Cooper?
I don't know if that was any inspiration. There probably is another Cooper Lake. I feel like all their lakes are usually based off of real lakes. But at some point, they're going to run out.
Bradley Cooper Lake.
At this rate, they are going to have to start going with celebrities.
Soon we're going to have Ice Cube Lake.
Ice Cube Lake.
Could also be Ice-T Lake.
Cascade is the name of a DJ. Well-known.
There you go. See?
Maybe that's it. I think you just cracked the code.
These popular tie-ins that Intel's going with the naming, with their code names.
You cracked the code name code, Paul.
Code names certainly way easier to decipher than what they're naming their actual CPUs these days.
Yeah, that's true. I think they should all just be like the official name. Like the code name should be the actual marketing retail names. Although, if
did you happen to watch? I'm going on a tangent here. Did you happen to watch the Hardware Connects video about the?
I haven't got around to it, but that's on the top of my list.
Eber did it. I think it was a really good take on it.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know, their naming. I like when you explain it all, like you can understand what it means and everything. But
right.
It's
Doesn't mean
it's so horrible. It's so
intuitive
confusing and 1068 G7.
So they really are going with that naming scheme.
Yeah.
So even though the article that we talked about weeks ago was false,
it's not the one from weeks
namings-
ago. It's
No,
not
no,
the
no.
one from weeks ago. That's different.
But does it still have 5 letters
It's got
or 5
it's got
digits?
4 digits and then another G something on the end for the graphics. So yeah.
So it's only 4 numbers then.
It's 6 numbers if you take it all together. It's
Wait.
like an i3 1065 G3.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So at least, I mean, that part of the article that we talked about weeks ago was somewhat true as to the horrible naming scheme. I thought that they would, so I thought that all the important people at Intel would have watched that stream of ours and learned we should probably come up with a much more intuitive naming scheme.
They normally watch.
Paul and Kyle are the voice of reason in the tech world, and everyone should listen to them.
Maybe there was a.
Why? How could we let this slip through our fingers?
Maybe they had an internet outage during that show.
They were running
possible.
the AC and the TV on.
Yes.
Same time.
All right, sorry to tangent you there, but
At any rate, this is going to be arriving the second half of 2020. 14 nanometer, same LGA 4186 socket that we're currently using with the 10 nanometer Ice Lake Xeons. Or I'm sorry, not that we're currently using, that we will be using later next year. The current range of Xeons, which is Cascade Lake, to pay homage to the DJ, have up to 28 cores, which is literally half of what Cooper Lake will offer. So they're really scaling up on the CPUs here, literally 200%.
still 14 nanometer though.
Still 14 nanometer though. Hopefully we can get a shrink maybe at some point next year with Ice Lake. New chips will offer higher memory bandwidth and higher AI interference and training performance compared to the standard Xeon Platinum 8200 processor. They're going to have a lower power envelope as well, so more performance, lower power. That's generally how these things go, and they're able to do that even without a significant die shrink or anything. They're just kind of refining that 14 nanometer architecture, and they're introducing bFloat 16 support, which we all know and love. They're adding that to Intel Deep Learning Boost, which will not ship with Ice Lake, oddly enough. The new range of Xeons will help Intel address a much broader range of customers who hunger for more processor performance and memory bandwidth. That was straight from the horse's mouth. Definitely sounds like they're trying to stick it to their competitor AMD, who will be soon launching their Zen 2 7nm EPYC Rome CPUs, aimed at the same market. So while we've been talking, I feel like our little group of pals and friends over on YouTube and stuff have been talking about the mainstream Ryzen and Intel war between the Ryzen 3000 series and the 9000 series, and so forth. There's also sort of the same deal going on the enterprise side, which is exciting if you're into data centers and a networking nerd. I'm sure Wendell is highly aroused right now.
Wendell's got a stiffy.
Just put that on a shirt. Wendell's got a stiffy. Just like
Wasn't
56 core CPU.
Wasn't expecting to say that today.
Oh, life. All right, so very exciting stuff. Let's move on to our next article, which is from Anantech about Toshiba introducing a new tiny NVMe SSD form factor that looks kind of like an SD card from that little picture there, but it's not. They debuted this recently at Flash Memory Summit, which is an event I know little about or have ever been to, but I can assume that has an emphasis on flash memory, based on the name. It's a new form factor.
Also takes place on top of a mountain.
Yes.
As all summits
Clearly.
are required to do.
Absolutely. New form factor NVMe SSD that is small enough to be removable, or a removable alternative to soldered down BGA SSDs.
Huh.
So it's serviceable. That's kind of interesting.
I like being serviced.
Yeah, absolutely. Service me all day. XFM Express. That's what it's called. XFM Express. And it's written all in caps.
Got a little trap
Gotta
door
write it all in caps.
action there.
Yeah, kind of looks fun. Looks like a fold down, like
It's
a Murphy bed.
It's like a SIM card, honestly.
It is like a SIM
what
card.
That's looking like to me.
Yeah, actually, it's supposed to be super tiny, so it's even smaller than the smallest M.2 22 by 30 millimeter cards, measuring at 18 by 14 by 1.4 millimeters to be exact. That's just the card. Of course, the little enclosure there is going to make it a little bigger, but still not much larger than a micro SD card, which is pretty impressive. I'll also be very curious to see what kind of capacity these will support right out of the gate. If we're going to start to see, if we're going to see 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte variants right off the bat, or
Supports PCIe 4.0.
it does support PCIe Gen 4. So when that's ready, when they have that all lined up, that will be a thing, which is kind of cool.
I think didn't Toshiba just recently do like 100-layer NAND or something like that? Some absurd.
I think so. They're they're going for the moonshot. This will open up the possibility for aftermarket capacity upgrades, which we all really appreciate, I'm sure. And it can make devices smaller but still serviceable. Usually that's a compromise. Oh, you want a super thin and light anything? Well, then you're gonna have to compromise. If something goes wrong with it, you either have to buy a new one or take it to a third-party specialist who can get in there and service it themselves. And as we're starting to hear a lot of right now in the news, sometimes that's not even an option. Things are becoming less and less serviceable as companies, Apple, are continuing to try to take more control over how their products are used and upgraded and repaired and so forth. But
You told me your wife was sick, not you.
sorry, that was
Coughing.
I might
Coughing everywhere.
have been getting. It's a little contagious.
So
It's not intended.
I have questions.
Go. I may or may not have answers. 'Cause I only read the article.
Capacity, of course. It looks like, can you put NAND on both sides of the thing? Probably not, because it looks like you've got connectors, or like connection points on this side. So, looks like this is probably going to be built for those like little SoC NAND, like full single chip configurations, which they've been making. So I'd be curious at what what kind of speeds we'd be looking at,
Right.
what kind of heat output potentially.
They did actually comment on that briefly. They said that the performance is going to be similar to existing BGA SSDs. So I would assume that just means, well, it depends too if it's PCIe Gen 3 or Gen 4.
I'm not directly familiar with the performance of existing BGA SSDs. I mostly use ones that plug in some way. So
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, we're talking about SSDs that go in a phone, I guess, or
It's
a
still-
finished goods device soldered directly to a PCB.
Yeah, right. It would be a finished good of some sort. I could see this being in like the new, like a next generation Intel NUC, for example, or maybe, inside of a phone, tablet, laptop, some other tiny mini computers or something like that. There's a lot of options, but as far as heat is concerned, there is a metal sleeve that the actual card goes into, as you can see there. And apparently that's supposed to provide some amount of heat dissipation, as it acts kind of like a heat sink.
I see.
Whether that's effective or not remains to be seen, but that's what it says in the article, so I'm saying it to you. Yeah.
All right.
Interesting. We'll keep a close eye on this, and I'm just more curious how it will be used, in what devices, and how widespread the adoption will be. If this is going to be like a new standard for a lot of devices, or if it's kind of a flash in the pan and won't be used much. We'll have to see. But I know what will be used much, Paul, is the new XFX Radeon RX 5700 XT THICC 2 graphics card. Just based on the name, I think this is going to be a hot seller. I mean, how could it not? At first, I thought they were just being, cheeky.
Well, yeah.
But it's actually the name of the GPU. It's called the THICC 2, and it's spelled THICC. This is an article from Video Cards, or I should say, they discovered this card. This is, it's one of the thickest cards based on the Navi 10 GPU.
This is the
THICC 2.
That's weird. Why is the 1C kind of rotated? That's awkward.
That is weird.
I'm confused.
Weird design choice.
I'm confused by this.
Good
XFX, I appreciate them just being like, whatever, we're just going to go with this, popular terminology.
Meme term, yeah.
Granted, now that, a corporation has taken that term and is using it in a product, they're going to destroy it. No one's going to be able to say thick anymore. That's besides the point, though. They're missing out on the opportunity to call it the too thick. I think too thick would have been way better.
XT too thick.
XT too thick.
Okay.
Right?
I have
flip that 2 on the other side.
I have an alternate pitch.
Lay down, flip it, and reverse it.
What if they called it the thick boy? Because they already have the fat boy.
They do have a fat boy.
Why not the thick boy?
Oh, you're right there. I think
it was already lined up for them. They just had to take the shot. It was already, they had bumpers.
I was just trying to make a slight modification and upgrade to their existing name, but I think you have a better overall name and option there. The thick boy would.
The point is that either of us are better at marketing than anyone at XFX. Clearly,
apparently,
they should totally do their job for them.
Get in touch with us or watch our show.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the THICC 2. It's got a familiar cooler design you may recognize from the Radeon R200 series era.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, it's got that black shroud with the sort of silver trim all around it. They call it the silver lining. All right, 2.5-inch slot design, and it's got more fan blades than the previous variant, 9 versus 11. I'm sure that does a whole lot.
Just like with shaving, it's better.
More blades.
More blades is better.
Blades, more effectiveness. Science.
Fuck it, we're doing 9 blades. Sorry.
Fuck it, we're doing 9 blades.
You saw that?
Is that a Razor commercial?
That's an Onion article. Back when they were escalating 3 blades, and then we had 4 blades. And then they put an article out that was like, fuck it, we're doing 9 blades. Okay, sorry.
That's a weapon. XFX branding can be found on almost every side of the card, and it has a metallic black backplate. That has
if
more
it's a black
branding on it.
backplate, they can totally call it a black
plate.
A black plate.
Yeah.
Black plate, which is kind of a tongue twister. Black plate.
They should call it the black backplate.
Black.
Double descriptions. It has 3 display ports.
Called the back and black plate.
The back and black. Back and black plate.
Oh, we're just a fountain of ideas here.
I know. Hire us, please.
Right.
It has a massive fin-based aluminum block with several copper heat pipes, a unique grill on the rear of the card, which may exhaust hot air. Looks to be using 8 and 6-pin power connectors, and will launch later this month, priced higher than reference cards, of course.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
What do you want for it?
It doesn't say what the price is.
So,
higher than reference.
I'm assuming they're going to do a 5700 and an XT version of this?
Yes, and they're actually going to have 3. Oh, that's my foot again, Hero.
Oh,
You're
Hero.
looking at my foot. I shouldn't have worn open-toe shoes today, because Hero is very attracted to my feet.
He likes licking feet. That's his thing.
He loves feet.
That's one of the things he does.
Playing footsie with his tongue. All right, so that's that. Oh, I should also mention they are going to release the Raw 2. They're getting really clever, creative with the names here. There's the Raw 2, which we have no details on yet, and we already have a little bit of info on the Black Wolf Edition, which looks to be a bit more plasticky in construction, looks a bit more entry-level, but still a cool name. So I think XFX officially is the add-in board partner for GPUs that has the coolest names. They win the coolest name award for 2019 so far. MSI, you got to step it up. Asus, Gigabyte, you got to step up your names. They don't sound nearly as cool or trendy or memeable as anything XFX is putting out lately. So get on it, y'all a bunch of thick boys. All right.
We have a suggestion from chat.
Yep.
Call it the BBC, the big black card.
The big yeah. I think Lyle actually coined that for the cooler.
Oh, really?
When he had the Dark Rock, he called it the BBC, the big black cooler.
Oh. See?
And so I figured
someone needs to jump on that.
That would sell,
BBC.
That would sell to all the wrong people.
Weird. Okay.
All right, let's move on. Overclock3D.net is telling us what's up with CryoRig. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
did we talk about this one?
Oh, sorry. That was the Black Wolf card that I was talking about earlier.
Oh, I didn't show people.
That's okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. That's a custom one that's painted pink and white.
Look at this pink monstrosity.
I think that's like a totally different one though. But if you go down, that's the Black Wolf.
Ah, sorry. This is the Black Wolf.
There's the Black Wolf.
That's the BBC right there.
Got a bit of lighting. It's dual fan design. Looks like a fairly big shroud. Looks kind of plasticky to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Might be one of the more entry-level or mid-range cards.
Look, there's a bunch of pictures we missed.
It does have a back and black
That's
plate,
the
though.
black
It does
plate.
have the back and black plate.
Sweet.
And
it's just
classic booth babe.
gratuitous booth babe
Gratuitous
picture
booth babe.
posing with it.
And that looks
graphics
very
card
bad.
and the
That looks
soft-
very bad for static.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna get
that's
shocked in a heartbeat. Let's put it on the
horrible
furriest rug possible.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yay!
marketing.
Well done, XFX.
All right, let's talk about CryoRig. Have you heard that CryoRig is out of business and you'll never be able to buy their products again?
Yeah, they went. They couldn't hack it.
Just
They couldn't-
kidding. Just kidding.
Oh no,
Everyone lied to you.
that's a lie.
Their stock has been quickly disappearing from U.S. store shelves, leaving a lot of people to rumor and speculate that the company's gone under. But that's simply not true, Paul. Then why? Then have they been pulling out of U.S. markets?
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. The import tariffs, Paul. It's the import tariffs and the U.S.-China trade war that have really put a dampening on poor old CryoRig.
Those damn tariffs.
Yeah, it's forced them out of the U.S. market, literally, because the high tariffs, the tariffs are so damn expensive. So they're still selling products outside of the U.S. normally, which is comforting for anyone who's not in the U.S. and likes CryoRig products. But CryoRig is planning to work with Outlet PC to bring their products back into the U.S. market, hoping to finalize a deal with them later this month. That would make Outlet PC their U.S. distributor officially, who would also handle all after-sales support and returns, but we'll see exactly how that goes. For now, you will be hard-pressed to find new CryoRig products in the U.S.
That's unfortunate.
So, unfortunately, yeah, those souring ties between the U.S. and China, this little trade war that we have going on, is affecting the PC market. This is one
From my
prime example.
From my understanding, a fair amount of companies have been able to sort of redirect stuff through Taiwan, which has allowed them to get around the tariffs to some degree. But certain stuff that comes direct from China, they can't do that with. CryoRig is one example. Power supplies, I don't know if you've noticed, are all a good $10 to $20 more expensive now than they used to be.
Right.
You used to be able to find like a really decent power supply, like if you're looking for something budget for like $40-50.
Yep.
You're probably spending $50 to $70 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
crazy.
something I've noticed recently. But
Here's a bummer.
you know, we have to pay for some reason. Gotta pay more money
Yep.
for
Totally.
reasons.
Makes sense.
Smart
Decision making.
people making these choices. Real smart people.
GG.
Anyway,
GG.
let's move on.
All right. Let's move on to why ASRock has ditched the AM4 support, AM4 cooler support on their new
No
mini
more
ITX.
AM4 support on
X570
any
board.
ASRock motherboards?
Not on any, just this particular one.
Oh, just this one.
The X570 Phantom Gaming ITX. It
Okay.
ditches the AM4 cooler in favor of LGA 11.5X mounts.
Huh.
So it's gone Intel.
All right.
Intel CPU cooler mounts on an AMD board, which is insane. Why? Well, the mini ITX form factor is complicated, people. There's a lot of hardware that you need to cram into a very small space. For example, VRM designs often need to be redesigned quite significantly in order to work well under these circumstances, particularly when you're manufacturing a motherboard that's supposed to be overclocking focused.
Dude.
So this board in particular is such a board that promises good OCs, and so they were just saying, well, how do we save more space on this very limited PCB? We don't have a lot of real estate here, and the AM4 mounting system, it's a little cumbersome. It takes up a lot of room, and so why don't we just ditch it all together and go LGA 11.5X? That's exactly what they did. So they could cram more componentry, more important componentry to the board, which I think is a fair trade-off. If those are your options, you either get a better overclocking experience or you can mount AM4 coolers. I think there's plenty of LGA 11.5X cooler support, supported coolers out there.
And they have immediate support for like all of the Asetek based mounts, which are like a huge array of water coolers
Right.
from a lot of different manufacturers, existing stuff that's out there. So
Yeah.
I can kind of see why they went with this.
I mean, it's kind of cool.
If it helps them with the design of the board as well,
Yeah.
then okay.
I'm sure there's a huge. I'm sure there's a. I shouldn't say huge. That's an oxymoron. But I'm sure there's a niche market for this type of board as well. For maybe people who have like an older cooler that they really like, you know, before AM4 even existed.
I could.
And they're like, I can put that on an X570 motherboard. This is amazing. I'm sure a lot of people would, you know, I'm sure there's a group of people who are really into this.
I could use my no fans CN95X or whatever the hell the model number is on it.
CN95X.
So my no fan cooler.
Oh, is it completely passive?
Yeah, it's passive.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is that actually the model?
No.
No, that's just look
popping
at
up for that.
no fan CR95 maybe.
CR95.
I forget that is. Type no fan.
what was
Type
the-
no fan. You're just looking for a model number.
It's the same
See,
exact.
take the X off of there.
I'm just writing down.
There you go.
There it is. There's no X apparently.
What is it?
It's the just this
CR95C.
CR95C.
C. There's a C now. Okay.
CX. They're close together on the keyboard.
Yes.
Maybe that's where you. But yeah, you could easily do that, Paul, on something like this, assuming that
It'd be ridiculous on a mini ITX board.
it would take up the
Which is
whole
funny.
freaking
Yeah.
the size of it. But the other thing about this, there's more to this motherboard than just that. It is going to be one of the first to support on X570 Thunderbolt 3 Type C, which is pretty cool at the rear I/O. It's one of the first consumer grade AM4 boards to support that.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you could, I guess, maybe if you could use like an external GPU with this, right? Technically, you could.
Potentially, yeah. With that,
I don't
with
see
that
why not.
connection.
And also just have a crazy hub, basically. You could connect one of those crazy hubs, just I/O hubs, where you could have a multitude of peripherals connected with over a single Thunderbolt 3 cable, which is always nice. Sorry, my little dongle dropped. It's just so big and heavy.
Dropping dongles.
But the other thing here is that it does support PCIe Gen 4 M.2 SSDs. There is one slot on the back of the board. I feel like a lot of mini ITX X570 boards are putting those M.2 slots on the back of the boards now because
not pictured.
it's not pictured. They have to go on behind the boards a lot of the time for mini ITX now in X570 because the chipset requires active cooling. So generally, where the M.2 slot was previously on like X470 boards is now being occupied by the little noisy fans on these chipsets. So which is kind of a bummer because I did like the M.2. It's so much more convenient to have the M.2 slot on the front of the board than behind it, especially in a mini ITX chassis where you don't always have the CPU cooler cut out. And if you do, it doesn't always go all the way down to wherever the M.2 slot is. It's generally just for the cooler area. So, rambling, but...
no, that's true.
Yeah, but...
They need to make a monoblock
this.
for this board that has cooling for the CPU, the power delivery, and the chipset.
And the chipset. Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
That'd look funny. It would just be really, like, long. It'd be like a hot dog monoblock.
Well, I mean,
long
I
and
think you
skinny.
have to go over here, too. Probably have to remove that.
Yeah, that's true. Someone should do that.
That'd be cool.
If anyone will, it's ASRock, particularly for a mini ITX board. They've already done that with LGA, or no, with Z3, was it the Z390? Yeah, they did that with the, no, X299, sorry. ASRock is like notorious for doing like the crazy, overbuilt, over-engineered mini ITX boards for like the high-end desktop platforms. So far, they've done it for X299 and the one before that. Not X199. Why am I blanking?
X99.
Yes.
They jumped from X99
Yes.
to X299.
God, was it that?
Yeah.
For some reason in my mind, I'm like, there must have been like 2 or 3 more.
The streaming system right here that we are streaming on right now is an
X99
X99 system.
What do you have in there right now?
6950X.
6950X. Solid. Still a very solid platform.
Back when Intel charged $1,700 for a 10 core.
Shudders and poor people.
I didn't pay for mine.
Well, who in their right mind would, Paul?
So I'm happy.
No, I'm sure.
I'm happy to use it.
Yeah.
It's perfectly functional. Okay.
All right, let's. That's pretty much. Oh no, I have one more article I would have had 2, but Paul stole one of mine. It was the best article
I
ever.
did.
It would have made this half just like a perfect episode, and then Paul had to come over and ruin everything.
So I had to restore balance
That's
to the
what he
the
does.
show.
He's the yin to my yang. So Raja Kaduri has hinted at $200 discrete GPUs coming out of Intel.
Oh.
So yeah, you know, Raja Kaduri, he was snatched up by Intel. He was formerly working the RTG, Radeon Technologies group at AMD, and Intel snatched that shit up. They're like, we want you, Kaduri. We need you, Kaduri. Make us rich. Make us richer. With some discrete graphics cards. Give us your GPU mojo.
Quintillion.
And so there was an interview with a Russian YouTube channel, Pro High Tech, where Kaduri claims that Intel plans to create discrete GPUs that are suitable for everyone, starting their product stack at $200. Which, to Kaduri, I say, not everyone has $200, man. So it's technically not everyone that you're targeting.
Look at Mr. Fancy Pants Rich Guy over here with his $200.
You at least need $200. That's pretty pricey. No, it's still fairly reasonable. A lot of reports and studies have shown that a lot of people don't have GPUs that go over $250 in value. So $200 is definitely a mainstream market that I think is a smart choice for Intel, because they have never done this before. They've never made a discrete GPU, and they really need to quickly build up a user base.
That video's stupid.
In the GPU market. Yeah, don't play that.
I already did.
I hear UPS is switching on and off.
It's fine, and we got a UPS. Everything's fine.
It always freaks me out a little bit. Yeah, they need to quickly build up a user base in order to get their cards into the rigs of people, and let people know, like, Intel is a household name in the GPU market. Consider Intel next time you buy a graphics card. When you think graphics card, don't just think AMD, NVIDIA, think Intel too. And I think this is a relatively smart move for them, trying to target the mainstream market where their hardware is going to be a lot more accessible. There's going to be a much lower barrier to entry for people with $200 to shell out, as opposed to, you know, whatever thousands of dollars that NVIDIA is charging for a GPU these days.
Or their GPUs just suck and they can't compete on the high end.
That is exactly. I mean, that is very likely. That's 99% the chance of what's happening here. So, but like any big company, they'll try to spin that in a way that sounds more reasonable and sensible, and like, we're doing this intentionally, not because we're backed into a corner. It's the only thing we can do. So they're sugarcoating it a little bit potentially, but that's okay as long as the hardware is good and the price to performance lines up with people's expectations, and it creates more competition in that space of the market. All is good. As of now, this is going to change probably quite a bit when these cards launch in 2020, if they do arrive on time. But as of now, a $200 price point competes with a GTX 1060 and an RX 580. So one could assume that if these cards were to launch, even probably next year, that we could expect some pretty solid 1080p gaming if we're to look at the performance and capabilities of current GPUs at that price. Which I'm okay with. Totally cool with that, because I only have $200. Alright. That's all for my tech news. I have one more segment today. It was haphazardly thrown together at the last minute, so I'm sorry if it sucks. But today's segment is new. It's so new, in fact, and I was so rushed for time that I didn't even have a chance to create a lower thirds for it. But it is not the Games Report.
Games Report.
That's the name of the segment, not the Games Report. No,
not the Games
Report. It's actually tech fails.
Phony,
we're gonna talk about
phony news.
Phony news. We're gonna do some tech fails today. I looked up some tech fails that happened recently in our beautiful world, and we're gonna talk about 3 of them. Briefly call them out. Maybe take a look at some video. Cool some pictures.
Cool story, bro.
Of these said fails. Yeah, that's exactly that fits perfectly, actually. And then you guys are gonna vote on which of these fails was the failiest of all. All right, sound good? All right. So and there's an emphasis on TV fails this week, because two of the fails have to do with TVs. That was unplanned. That was just me.
Oh, theme.
Not having a ton of time, and hey, look, there's a TV.
I feel like this is a very mature segment.
It is,
considering
it is.
That it's new.
This is the pinnacle. This is the pinnacle of online journalism. We've resorted to tech fails. All right, so let's talk about the first one here, Paul.
Do you want to do straw poll, or?
Oh no, we'll do that. We'll say that to the end. I just dumped it in there so people can.
How are we gonna know what people vote on?
Well, I was going to look at each of them first.
Okay, that's
each of the
fine.
articles, and then
Sorry.
we'll go back to the...
All right.
okay. So, guys, I know I put links in YouTube, but don't vote on it yet. I don't know why I put that. I shouldn't have put the links in chat.
Nobody
vote on it. No one
No
vote.
one
Yeah,
vote.
because telling chat
It's
to do
very
anything
important that you
is-
do not vote yet. Absolutely. If you vote before we go through these stories,
It's the first time I've done this segment, okay, Paul?
it's gonna ruin everything.
It's the first time. I'm still learning.
So don't be a shithead. Don't fucking vote
Don't be
early,
a
alright?
shithead. Can I just get a gif
Garbage.
of a gif of Paul saying that over and over? Don't be a shithead. Anytime I'm feeling down on myself, I'll just play that. Don't be a shithead.
It's motivational.
All right.
I'm a
So
motivational
I know-
speaker.
Yes. All right. So ignore that straw poll if possible. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about the first fail. A woman destroyed $200,000 worth of art. How? It was at
How?
an art museum and it was at an exhibit. How the hell did she destroy that? Well,
Selfie.
she tried taking a selfie. She was
Oh.
trying to take a selfie of herself. That's what a selfie is. That's redundant for me to say that. And in the process of doing so, she knocked over $200,000 worth of art. See how there's all those pillars there?
Oh,
She knocked
okay.
over one and it had a domino effect.
Oh,
And so it was just one row, just one of those columns
One of these rows.
completely got knocked out by the stupid lady.
It'd be hilarious if it got to the end and then it was like chained together. It went back and forth and it was on video and like everyone was just standing there silent watching it.
I mean, that's exactly what
That's-
happened, except it didn't get the other three.
That's how it should have
But
gone.
the other people in the exhibit, I mean, there's a video at the very end.
there is.
So you watch the video first. It's like
Yeah.
way at the bottom. I don't know why it's
Jeez,
so
this
long, but
article's
just go to the
ridiculous.
very, like, the lowest you can go.
No,
Maybe
it's
that's
an
too low.
infinite it's
Oh,
a
fucking infinite scrolling.
Screw you, Vice, and your infinite
Fuck my
scrolling
life. There it
garbage.
is.
Here it is.
Okay. Selfie domino. So at first you think it's the chick in the middle because she's got the camera phone up and you see a little flash, but it's actually top right corner. Top
up
right
here.
corner. Yep, right there. So this chick, watch her carefully. She's gonna squat down in front of the pillar and try to get like the perfect selfie for the gram, and then oh, there they go. Oh, those perfect, beautiful works of art,
Whoa.
completely obliterated in a matter of seconds.
Whoa.
And I love the girl's reaction. She gets up and she's like, "Did I do that?" Like classic Steve Urkel.
Oh my god.
No one's helping because they're like, "You're an idiot."
I'll fix
Oh,
it.
let me just get this one. Here,
All right.
don't worry, everyone.
All fixed.
I'm a $200,000 art
Everything's-
fixer.
Everything's fixed now.
Nope, it was all destroyed because these are very fragile pieces. In fact,
I'm glad that there's a video of that.
they're like little crowns. They're like special crowns. That's what was on display.
Oh, these are the
made of
things.
different materials. They're very fragile, and they were not bolted down, so they all just got smashed on top of these pillars or underneath these pillars. And yeah, 200 grand in the hole
Dude there for some
for the
reason.
perfect selfie. At least she made the perfect fail video. On the bright side, as XFX would say, that is a silver lining.
Reminds me of Game of Thrones back when it was good. And
Back when it was good, like the 99% of it.
yeah,
95% of it.
And Khal Drogo was like, "Crown for king." He like he pours the gold out. Like, that's
That was
a good. That's a good
Oh
scene.
yeah, that
awesome.
was a good scene. Ooh,
great.
sweet revenge.
Crown for king.
Oh yeah.
Khal Drogo.
Where did it all go wrong?
Badass.
Probably when they killed off Khal Drogo. All right, so that's the first tech fail of today. The second tech fail is a clumsy customer who knocked over 4 TVs in a local electronics store.
Oh.
And the value of the TVs totaled up to about 5,000 Great British pounds, which equates to about $6,000 US.
Oh, we got a video.
There is a video. All right, $6,000. So look at him. He's just casually shopping along. Nothing wrong.
Casual UK.
And he's the only customer in here, too. It's probably good for him. Less embarrassment. Oh, and
Whoa.
then, let me just back up. Oh, shit. Oh, I just tried to get away from those TVs, and I ended up slamming into those TVs.
That's hilarious.
And no, this is great. Watch till the end. Watch the customer. He facepalmed. The staff
Like,
literally
hands in the
facepalmed.
head.
Look, do you see him? He goes, no, sir.
That's all right.
You've done enough, sir.
That's all right. Please
I'll take
don't
it from
touch.
here, sir. Just back away.
I'm
Hands on his
sure-
head.
Oh god.
Everyone's freaking out. Oh, God.
Yay.
Oh, God.
Yay, telegraph. Should we? Can we jump back?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just realized this is from 2016.
Really?
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Whatever. Fails are infinite. Fails will live forever. It doesn't matter what year they are,
Who
okay?
cares?
And when I have more time to actually put this segment together, it'll be better.
Speaking of and speaking of stuff from a couple years ago.
Oh, God. This is a pilot This is a pilot
It's a pilot
segment,
episode.
and you can all suck it.
Just doing a tester to see what
It's just a
people's
tester.
response.
So this post is from 2 years ago, but again, doesn't make the fail any
matter.
less faily.
Lots of people, this is new.
I found
is
this
new.
on the fail subreddit, which apparently isn't very updated or active. So even though this was on the front page, it's from 2 years ago.
Well, it's Reddit. Shit gets reposted.
That's
all
true
the
too.
time.
That is true too. So this person did not mount the TV to the wall. Instead, they mounted it to the mantle. It looks like of their fireplace, and shortly after.
It does look like it took the front of the mantle with it, which is still attached to the base of the TV.
Yes, yes. So this is sort of a double whammy. You fucked your TV and you fucked your fireplace.
Yeah.
So double fuck.
Hey,
Not the kind you want.
At least it didn't take the guitar out though. That could easily.
That guitar is still in great shape.
Yep.
I wonder if it did any damage to the floor too. That'd be a triple threat.
It does look like the floor might be damaged.
That's a lot of weight falling at from a high place. So, let's do a poll. A poll that I've already sent out. I will send it out again. Can you do it to Twitch, Paul?
Probably.
Because I'm not logged in. I realized. But now that you've seen all 3 of the tech fails today, you can vote on which tech fail you think was the failiest.
And if you voted already, like earlier when we told you not to,
unvote somehow.
you've tainted this entire process, and you should feel ashamed for the rest of your life.
This poll is no longer scientific.
No, but I trust our fans that no one actually went and did that.
Sure.
How long are we gonna wait while people vote and stuff?
I will give them 10 more seconds.
You have 10 seconds to vote.
You have like literally 7 seconds now. Time sucks. Now it's like 3 seconds, 2, 1. You're fucked.
Nobody vote.
Nobody vote. Yeah. Don't you dare! Don't you dare vote! We're watching you.
You can only vote in a very specific window of this segment.
Yes.
Otherwise, it
All
doesn't
right.
count.
So
Results.
who was the failiest? Yeah, I think that takes the
Yeah,
cake.
that was pretty.
I mean, you were destroying
pretty
art.
horrible.
That's some pretty cool art too. You know, if it
Yeah.
was like lame art, I'd be like, yeah, that's a win. Did the society a favor, but no, you suck. And followed by
Close race for second, but
close race for second.
the 4 TVs, and it's pretty much rated by cost. I feel like at this point.
See, if I was a super selfish person, which I am, I would say that not mounting the TV to the wall would be the top fail, mainly because that affects you personally. You just fucked over your own TV, your own house, your own mantle.
What sort of liability
Fireplace.
do you have if you're in a museum or something like that? And
None.
You destroy art.
None.
None. You just leave.
None.
You're like, sorry.
Basically, yeah. Like you're just like, it was an accident. What do you want me to? Shit happens, bro. You know, and you just be a douche and walk out, and just like, you know,
I don't
be
know.
like the
I
biggest
mean,
douche in the world.
I feel like
That's your punishment. You're a douche for a day, but that has no monetary consequence. You're just
I
you're
feel
just
like
that
you could be
douche.
held responsible for something like that.
I don't know.
Oh,
What are they gonna do?
Insurance. Chat has the right
Insurance.
answer.
There it
Insurance.
is.
Insurance would cover accidental damages.
Yeah,
Probably.
right.
That's probably true.
Yep. That's why you get insurance, folks. Don't skimp on it, because one day you'll be a dumbass trying to take a selfie and knock over a shit ton of art. Lessons learned on this show.
That's a great lesson to.
Yeah. How come that's never in a fortune cookie?
I don't know. I don't know at all.
My parents never warned me
I
of
don't
that.
know where the fortune cookie fortunes come from. I always assumed there was some
There's a stork. A fortune stork.
stork. I didn't picture a stork. I was more like some old Chinese
You know
dude.
the little blanket that the stork carries the babies in? Those aren't blankets. Those are actual fortunes that when he drops the baby, the fortune also falls into the cookie.
I did not know that.
That's what I'll tell my kids.
I did not know that at all.
And I'll break
It's
the
a
news.
fun. That's looking
news
forward
to
to
them.
having kids because you can just tell them lies, just complete lies
Oh my god.
that they grow up thinking are
feel like a
truth
master.
because they trust you as a parent.
A master of deception I will be.
Yep.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for my half.
Groovy.
Hope it wasn't too cringy. And thank you very much for watching. But don't go anywhere because Side B is about to start on Paul's channel. You can find the link in my video description or just stay right where you are if you're on twitch.tv. We'll be right back.
It's gonna be awesome. Bye, guys.